Today's reading is from the book of John, chapter 1, verses 35 through 51. The next day, John again was standing with two of his disciples, and as he watched Jesus walk by, he exclaimed, "Look, here is the Lamb of God." The two disciples heard him say this, and they followed Jesus. When Jesus turned and saw them following, he said to them, "What are you looking for?" They said to him, "Rabbi," which translated means teacher. "Where are you staying?" He said to them, "Come and see." They came and saw where he was staying, and they remained with him that day. It was about 4:00 in the afternoon. One of the two who heard John speak and followed him was Andrew, Simon Peter's brother. He first found his brother Simon and said to him, "We have found the Messiah," which is translated anointed. He brought Simon to Jesus, who looked at him and said, "You are Simon, son of John. You are to be called Cephas," which is translated Peter. The next day, Jesus decided to go to Galilee. He found Peter and said to him, "Follow me." He found Philip and said to him, "Follow me." Now Philip was from Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter. Philip found Nathanael and said to him, "We have found him about whom Moses in the law and also the prophets wrote, Jesus, son of Joseph from Nazareth." Nathanael said to him, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" Philip said to him, "Come and see." When Jesus saw Nathanael coming toward him, he said of him, "Here is truly an Israelite in whom there is no deceit." Nathanael asked him, "Where did you get to know me?" Jesus answered, "I saw you under the fig tree before Philip called you." Nathanael replied, "Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel." Jesus answered, "Do you believe because I told you that I saw you under the fig tree? You will see greater things than these." And he said to him, "Very truly I tell you, you will see heaven opened, and the angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man."
Well, Epiphany always feels a little bit different than the rest of the holiday season. It's one of those mystery days. We've heard this word Epiphany before. We know it's somehow attached to Christmas and the New Year and this season, but we might not have a firm grasp on what in the world it actually is. But luckily for you, Epiphany is my favorite church day of the year, even more so than Christmas. And so I'm always excited to talk about it, share Epiphany with you. Speaking of Christmas, did any of you do all 12 days of Christmas? Did any of you get stuck around 9 ladies dancing or 11 swans swimming? You see, I always forget that Christmas is a season. It's not just a day. And technically, Christmas ends now with Epiphany. But like most people, you've probably got most of your decorations put away. The music has switched from Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You" to something a little less Mariah Carey. And the adrenaline of the holidays is kind of settling into this realization that we have the whole year ahead of us now, 2026. And isn't it going to be different? We certainly hope so. With everything that happened in 2025 and in our own lives, we're standing at the edge of this new year with a strange mix of relief and hope, maybe also with some weariness, some uncertainty. And yet with the news of the last 48 hours or so, in many ways we find that while the calendar may have changed, we're very much in the same unwieldy position in the country and in our community as we have been. And that can be scary at times. Now, epiphany. Epiphany is a word that means manifestation, not in kind of a woo-woo, manifesting your dreams kind of a quality, but in something that is being made visible, something you can see. A star shining in the east, a baby wrapped in clothes in the manger, ready to change the world. And there's something about Epiphany's closeness to the new year as well. This is the season when we find ourselves asking questions. Who am I becoming? What do I hope for now? What am I carrying forward? What do I want to leave behind? And this is what makes today's first gospel reading of the year such a good Epiphany story. Since I started as your pastor in August, we've been looking mostly at stories from the Hebrew Bible, getting to know our ancient people and prophets and spiritual ancestors. But from now until the summertime, we're going to focus on one book, one gospel. And this year we will be focusing on the Gospel of John. The Gospel of John doesn't begin the way the other Gospels begin. There's no manger scene, no shepherds startled awake, no angels filling the sky. There's no genealogy, no birth narrative. John begins instead with poetry. In the beginning was the Word, John tells us. John is less interested in chronology and more interested in meaning. He's not trying to tell us exactly how events unfolded, so much as he's trying to tell us what those events reveal to us about God and about ourselves. And in today's passage, that revelation unfolds through a series of encounters that are remarkably simple and yet deeply human. The stories begin when Jesus walks by, like he would walk by you. And John the Baptist points to him and he says, "Look, here is the Lamb of God." And immediately 2 disciples hear him and something stirs in them. They don't debate with each other about what to do next. They don't demand clarification. They simply follow after Jesus. And Jesus turns to them and asks them a question. What are you looking for? What a question. What are you looking for? You. This isn't a test or a trap. It's an invitation for you to be present with Jesus and to answer honestly. What are you seeking? What do you hope to find? What hunger has brought you here? Why did you come here today? What a question that is. But do you catch the response that these disciples give? Instead of answering him, they say, "Where are you staying?" They redirect. What a wonderfully human response that is. They're not ready to get in the weeds with Jesus, to have a deep conversation. They just want to follow Jesus wherever he might be going. They want to be near him. They want to be where the action is happening. And Jesus responds not with an explanation himself, not with an argument maybe that, well, you haven't really answered the question, so I'm not going to answer the question to you. Instead, he says something awe-inspiring. "Come and see," he says. And so they go with him. They spend the day together. And once that invitation is accepted, it begins to ripple outward. Andrew goes and finds his brother Simon. Philip finds Nathanael. Each one shares their experience of having met this Jesus. They say, "We've found something. We've seen something. Come and see for yourself." Epiphany is not about having all of the answers. It's about paying attention. It's about noticing what is unfolding right in front of us, about being willing to follow a light we don't yet fully understand and trusting that clarity will come as we are on the journey ourselves. At the end of the passage, Jesus offers us an image that stretches this story beyond individual encounters and into something almost esoteric. You will see heaven opened, he says, and the angels of God ascending and descending. This isn't just a promise of personal insight or private faith. It's a widening of our vision of God, a reminder that the world is multi-layered, more alive, more charged with meaning than we usually allow ourselves to believe. And that is where Epiphany finally lands. Not just in revelation about Jesus, but in revelation about the world we inhabit and the lives that we are living within it. And so today is an invitation to see more deeply into the mystery of our lives, to see the world more deeply, not the way we're told to see it on the evening news or in the papers or through some bloviating on social media. We are invited to experience the reality of God personally today. This is why the poem that I want to leave you with this morning feels so deeply at home here on Epiphany. I want to share a poem with you by the writer Ada Limon, who's the 24th Poet Laureate of the United States. What would happen, she asks, if we decided to survive more and to love harder? What would happen if we trusted the light that we have been given, however faint, however incomplete, and we followed it anyway? What would happen if we believed that the heavens still open, that meaning still breaks through, that God is still speaking? That is the question Epiphany leaves with us as we step into a new year. So here is Ada's poem, Dead Stars. Out here there's a bowing even the trees are doing. Winter's icy hand at the back of all of us. Black bark, slick yellow leaves, a kind of stillness that feels so mute it's almost in another year. I am a hearth of spiders these days, a nest of trying. We point out the stars that make Orion as we take out the trash, the rolling containers, a song of suburban thunder. It's almost romantic as we adjust the waxy blue recycling bin until you say, man, we should really learn some new constellations. And it's true. We keep forgetting about Antlia, Centaurus, Draco, Lacerda, Hydra, Lyra, Lynx. But mostly we're forgetting we're dead stars too. My mouth is full of dust, and I wish to reclaim the rising, to lean in to the spotlight of streetlight with you, toward what's larger within us, toward how we were born. Look, we are not unspectacular things. We've come this far, survived this much. What would happen if we decided to survive more, to love harder? What if we stood up with our synapses and flesh and said no, no, no to the rising tides? Stood for the many mute mouths of the sea, of the land? What would happen if we used our bodies to bargain for the safety of others, for earth? If we declared a clean night? If we stopped being terrified? If we launched our demands into the sky, made ourselves so big people could point to us with the arrows they make in their minds, rolling their trash bins out after all of this is over? Come and see Jesus invites us. Today, Epiphany does not demand certainty. It invites wonder. And wonder might just be strong enough, I think, to carry us forward this year. In just a moment, while Joseph plays some soft music on the organ, we're going to pass out a small card to each of you. And I know this happened, I'm not sure it happened last year, but somebody told me when Nikki Woolsey was your associate minister that you did this. And just as the Magi followed a star without knowing exactly where it would lead, you're going to receive a single word to carry with you through the coming year. This word isn't meant to be a goal or a resolution. It's meant to be an invitation. It's called a star word. And your star word may feel immediately meaningful, or it may take time to unfold. It may comfort you, challenge you, or it might just stay in the back of your pocket until the moment that you need it. And so as you receive your word, remember that you don't have to know where it's leading. You're simply invited to come